Well, good morning. This is Dave Johnson with Day Trade the Markets, and we're looking at a 1-minute chart of the Emini S&P. Just been filled long here at 2147.25. You can see the market here today has had kind of a lot of back and forth, if you will. You can see it opened here in the regular trading hours. Kind of went sideways, had the dip down, the good rally up, and now a dip down to actually make a new low for the day. Now, we have a support area that we have been monitoring a little bit lower than where the market is right now, down in the 43 area, and then the other one is at 46.75. So right about here, let me just mark that in. So this area right here, 46.75, right about here, this was expected to show some support for the market. So you can see that earlier in the session, the market did get down fairly close to it over here. And it's just dipped below it here with some pretty good selling, and now it's turned around and come up. So this kind of rejection here, when the market has had a wave of selling and we get these opposing D cells, oftentimes the market will change its direction. And I'll just put that in right about there. So it's starting to move up. So what I need to do here is at least put in a sell limit. Usually put those around 2 points or so. Yeah, I think we'll do with 2 points right about here. Okay, just filled on that, kind of talking here while I'm doing this. So I haven't even put the stop in. So we've exited, and I should make a marker just on that. So that was our 2-point profit right here. Okay, so there's our first marker. Let me just put a marker in also where we entered this trade. I also want to put a marker here where we're going to put our stop. So now that's moved a couple of points in our favor, and you can see as the market has moved up with some fairly good aggression, I really don't want to see the market move down below this most recent green bar. Now, the light green is our weakest of aggression on the buy side. The green is the second strongest, and a blue going over here yesterday is the strongest of the aggression bars. So I really don't want to see it get below this green bar here that's really kind of started this move up. So I will go ahead and place a protective sell stop a couple of ticks below there. And the low of that's at 46.75, so I'll place it at 46.25. So sell stop at 46.25. Okay. So our next target is really up into here. I should mark that in for our stop. Is up towards the top of where this very aggressive selling, where these magenta bars came in. And so we do have a likely resistance area up in there. So what I'm going to do is, we've got just the one contract left. I'm going to go ahead and put a sell limit a little bit below where I think this market could first hit a good barrier, right up in here around 53. So if I put it, let's say at 50, let's call it, yeah, right around here, about 52. I'll try and sell one, put in a sell limit order there at 52, see how that goes. So, yeah, and I'll also put another marker in there so we know if it does get up there and get filled, we know what's going on. It's been a pretty volatile market here today. I mean, the market really hasn't gone anywhere, but you can see it, opened here in the beginning of the regular trading hours, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, and fairly quickly dropped. What was that, about 8 points? Then it rallied about 7, and then it dropped another 8 or so. I could easily see it rallying, easily up into this area, which would be about, what was that, 45 to 54. So, yeah, it's 9 points. So, yeah, it's got a lot of back and forth going on here. So, we're just going to keep monitoring this. We got our stop in place, and I'll pause the recording now, and I'll just restart it if we get filled or stopped or whatever. So I'll go ahead and pause it. Okay, just restarted the recording. You can see the market has come up here, came within a tick of our second objective. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust this stop here. And we've got another green bar here, although it's a light green. But I'm going to raise the stop anyway because the market has moved from our entry at 47.25 to 51.50, so that's 4.25 points. So obviously I don't want the market to turn around and stop me out and have a slight loss in the second half of the position here. So I'm going to go ahead and raise that stop to here. It's just at the base of this bar that broke higher. So we'll see what we can get with that. And it's going to lock in at least what's at a point. So at least a point on the second half of the position. These other two contracts that we've still got in play. So anyway, just wanted to bring you up to date on that adjustment, and hopefully we'll get a bounce up here for another couple of ticks. Maybe get it right here, and get filled on this second um, target. So 47.25, 51.25. Yeah, I think I'll bring it down to 51.25. We'll go. Okay, we just got filled on that. I need to reduce that. So that was that was a 4-point move. So that's pretty good. I mean, I'd rather take that than have it come back down and just take a 1. So I need to adjust this stop to just 1. We're down to just 1 contract now. I'll leave it at that price right in there, locked in a single point on the final contract. So we made, yeah, this was our first objective for 2 and second objective for 4. So we made our 8 points so far, and we've locked in another point. So we've 9 points minimum here on this trade, and I'm going to try and trail this last stop as best I can. Although I still think it's likely to get in this area and pull back a little bit. So we're just going to keep watching it for now. We've got everything. I need to make this adjustment here on where the stop is. There it is right there. Yeah, our marker. So that's it for now. I'll pause the recording and pick it up as soon as I need to make some sort of adjustment or we get stopped. Okay, resume the recording. You can see it did come down here a couple of times, and now it's come up right into the expected area of resistance. So I'm going to go ahead and make another adjustment on this stop to just below here. That's at 2150. So I'm going to put that stop at 49.75. So that'll lock in 2.5 points on the final contract that we've got here. And I'll just this was our stop. Just mark that in right there. So anyway, just wanted to bring you up to date on that, and I'll once again go ahead and pause the recording. Okay, just restarted the recording. It is moving up nicely. We have broken through this area of resistance here. We did so. It's kind of funny because sometimes you can have a bar like this light red bar right here, sort of pink bar. It took out its previous bar's high, and yet it had more selling in it, and yet immediately it had its high taken out. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust the stop to just below that bar. You can see the low of that bar right here is at 53.50. So I'm going to raise that stop now to 53 even. There we go right there, and I'll just make an adjustment right with that as well. So market continues to move up, and you can see that we had obviously some resistance in here. This was the early consolidation. We came up and tested it, so obviously this is an area of resistance. So I think it was a good time to tighten the stop, and it's coming down pretty quickly, but we do have our stop in place there. So at 53 from 47. So what's that, about 6.5? Okay, we just got filled on it. So there's the trade for today in the Emini S&P, and it was basically taken because we had a support area down in here, and the market came down and tested, came very close to that support area initially with very strong selling, but you can see that selling was erased here, but then it turned around and had another wave of very strong selling. When the market came down and tested this low right here at 47.75, we had another area, if you recall, that I'd mentioned, and that was down here. I never did mark it in, but it was down here at 43. And so the expectation was that the market, once it broke through here and the early low of the day and the support area, that it really should come on down and test into the next support. And as you can see, we immediately had the buying that came in here with this green bar and the D cells, and that's why we got long right here. And we're able to ride that wave higher. So that was a trade that we had in place. These was our 3 exits. So on the 4 contracts, we had our first exit was at 2 points. Next exit was at 4. So that was a total of 8 points because the first exit was for 2 contracts. So 4 and 4 is 8. And then we got another 5 here. Well, our entry was at 47.75. We got out at 53 So that was another 5 3/4. So 5 and 13 is 13 3/4. So it worked out to be a pretty good trade, 13 3/4 points. And of course, for those not all that familiar with the Emini S&P, it's $50 per point. So what's that? It's shy of $700 trade. So it's a nice trade, and we're getting some pretty good volatility in the market here, as you can see, with the way the market has been moving. These 8 and 9 point back and forth moves, but in the longer scheme of things, the market really hasn't gone anywhere. So giving us some good opportunity, and you can see, just in finishing out the video here, really strong selling in here, getting rejected right away might just be giving us another opportunity. But in the meantime, if you have any questions or comments, just get a hold of us at info@daytradethemarkets.com. I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you next time.